Listen, Martin Luther King didn't die for these such moments, but we're here to talk to you guys about obviously our good brother Jonathan Majors. Yes, the Insider released an article talking about obviously the recent court case with Jonathan Majors and obviously his ex-girlfriend Jabari, whilst obviously being with the new Megan Good. Look, let's keep it a buck, let's keep it real, and have a real conversation. The Insider dropped this article, and I think it speaks to some of the evidences that are going to be put forward in the defense of Jonathan Majors. And let me tell you something: the evidence is overwhelming. I don't know how the prosecution are going to actually try and get Jonathan Majors on guilty, because the evidence is pointing out that your client is a goddamn liar. Not just your client, but your police is a goddamn liar, and the system is out to get Jonathan Majors like it was 1950s all over again, right? That's what it's giving right now. It's giving the fact that it's almost feeling like he's being persecuted, like he is in the 1950s civil rights movement all over again. And so we're going to read a little bit of the Insider and their article and break it down for you guys. But if you're new to the channel, do me a massive favor: like it, share, subscribe, click on that bell button. Do you know why? Because you want to be notified of the great content that I put out pretty much every single day. And if you're new, and if you are a returnee, you already know what it is, baby. You got the minerals. You got the minerals. Stay hydrated. All right, listen. Let's get into this. I don't want to waste much time. I want to get straight into this, have a real conversation concerning this particular issue. Let's have a look at this and have a bit of a read. You might want to put a bit of background, a little bit of light background music, nothing too civil rightsy. Let's keep it nice and low. All right. Cool. Let's get into this and let's start reading. So, lawyer for Marvel's Jonathan Majors blames NYPD racism for his domestic violence arrest. Wow. Okay, that's big words from the court. And so Jonathan Majors appeared Tuesday in Manhattan over. Hold on. I don't like the music. I don't like the music. I don't like you singing. I need silence. I just need just a beat. You know what I mean? Okay, cool. Jonathan Majors appeared Tuesday in Manhattan on a domestic assault case involving an ex-girlfriend. The trial in the misdemeanor case is set to start on August the 3rd. His lawyer accused police of ignoring the star's account and asking if his penthouse was really his. Do you know how mad that is? That's actually mad. Okay. Listen, I can't lie to you. This music is doing my nine. Yeah. Thank you. All right, cool. Jonathan Majors appeared with his new girlfriend, Megan Good, Tuesday in Manhattan courtroom, where a judge set an August the 3rd trial date for the domestic violence arrest that has grounded his skyrocketing moving career for the past 3 months. Listen, that guy's lost out on movie deals. That guy's lost out on advertisement deals. The army removed his advertisement from their thing. What are they going to do? Are they going to apologize if they find out he's innocent? Probably not. You know how the system works. The Marvel star wore a rumpled brown linen suit over a white dress shirt, and did not speak during or after the 5-minute hearing, except to say good morning to the judge. Now, let me just say this now. He was out here looking like he was Martin Luther King's sidekick in 2023. His lawyer, Priya Chaudhry, told Insider that the star had hoped the misdemeanor assault charges would be dropped by Manhattan prosecutors, but she said that Majors was still eager to prove his innocence to the jury, as he should. Yeah, y'all ain't gonna get away for free. Majors is known to the movie audience as Marvel supervillain Kang the Conqueror, and also stars as a boxing prodigy in Creed 3, which was released in theaters in early March and his latest movie role. Let me tell you something now. If he survives this, he's about to be the greatest villain in Marvel history. In fact, he's about to save Marvel single-handedly, because he really has been a villain. Like, even if all the things, the allegations are dropped, whatever, he is going to be looked at as a villain, because you know what? This guy has survived accusations, has survived the system trying to break him, has survived people having opinions, about what he did to this woman, which he never did, according to the evidence so far. So by the time he comes out of this, listen, Creed 4, we need a minute, because he gonna sell it right. It was just 3 weeks later that Majors was arrested on suspicion of hitting his then girlfriend Grace Jabari in a fight on Chinatown Street corner. He probably didn't sell his soul, so he probably needs to go and work on that and see what Jesus is saying. But Mr. Jabari claims that Mr. Majors assaulted her in a car in Chinatown around 12 a.m. on March 25th, 2023. And during this incident, Mr. Majors broke her finger and lacerated her ear. Charlie wrote in a letter in Manhattan Criminal Court Judge Rachel S. Pauley that was released April the 8th. Okay, so there's a letter that was released to the criminal court judge, and it was released on April the 8th. Now, what's really interesting about this is giving a bit of what we call judges and Samson and Delilah, okay? Delilah was pushed, Samson's first wife was pushed to betray him, and the second wife was also pushed to betray him as well, right? Okay? She didn't want to do it. She was pushed to do it, but she became complicit in the crime. And this is what's very much being given here, because it sounds like Miss Jabari was pushed by a certain demographic called white supremacy, okay, who decided to push this narrative, and let's try and get him knocked for 10. We have proof that this is a complete lie. Chaudhry told a judge, detailing the trove of defense, eyewitness interviews, phone records, credit card statements, and hours of surveillance and police body camera video. Chaudhry alleged in the letter that this evidence suggested that Jabari injured herself some 7 hours after that midnight fight, when Jabari took a fall while alone in Major's penthouse apartment after drinking and taking sleeping pills. The evidence Chaudhry shared with the insider did not show how Jabari was injured or the entirety of the fight between Jabari and Majors that is at the center of the misdemeanor charges. It did, however, appear to support the lawyer's contention that Jabari's ear and finger were uninjured in the hours after the fight. A racist arrest. Chaudhry continued in the letter that Jabari had said, "I don't know," 19 times when asked by arriving medics and cops how she was injured, citing police body-worn camera footage taken at the penthouse and turned over to the defense by the prosecutor. So they had body camera footage, and you asked this woman 19 times to try and persuade her, okay, to tell on our brother Jonathan Majors. You wanted her to fold on Jonathan Majors. You wanted her to fight against Jonathan Majors. You wanted her to be an instrument of warfare against Jonathan Majors. Okay? It's nothing unusual. This is usual tactics when they can't get somebody and they want to try and nail them to the cross. I mean, the Jews did it to Jesus. Letter alleges that the NYPD footage showed the lead officer coaching Miss Jabari to accuse Mr. Majors of assault. Coaching. You know what that means? It means the lead officer was out here smoking trees, talking the most, doing the bee's knees, trying to get this young lady to flip and turn, like I said about what happened with Delilah and the first wife of Samson, to do to her partner. They wanted to use her as a Trojan horse to enter into the fray and get her to nail Jonathan Majors. Why? Why is it? Of course, they're racist. Of course, there's a racism aspect. That's one level. But is there something deeper, darker, and sinister working behind the scenes here? Now, if you're a Christian or you're someone who's a believer, you kind of know that there are things that work behind the scenes. There are powers at B. There are sacrifices that have to be made. There are rituals that have to be done, right? And we know what they are. If you don't already, you better Google. She said in the letter that the arrest was racist, and showed the officers questioning among themselves how Majors, who they didn't recognize as a famous actor, could afford to live in a luxe penthouse. Now, let me be freaking honest. You live in NY and you don't recognize this person as Jonathan Majors? Oh, no, they knew who he was. You live in NY and he does Marvel movies, right? Films that your kids watch. And you telling me you don't recognize Marvel's? He wasn't even in Black Panther. At least that one maybe can say something. He wasn't even in Black Panther. He was in Marvel movies like Ant-Man, right? You don't recognize him. He was in Creed. You don't recognize him? Wow. Chowdhury told Insider that all 6 of the responding officers were white. You mean they were of the Caucasoid persuasion? Even though Miss Jabari admitted to drinking to the point of throwing up, taking sleeping pills, and having no idea how she woke up in a closet with a cut on her head and injured finger, the police jumped to the conclusion that Mr. Majors, the young, tall, strong, rich, black man, must have done this to Miss Jabari. Chowdhury's letter alleged, citing the NYPD's footage. Well, shoot. I mean, if you're going to give us the footage. We're going to use it against you. So, anything you do say in court will be used against you. Prosecutors charged Majors with 6 counts of assaulting and 3 counts of harassing Jabari, a London-based movement coach who had worked alongside Majors on the set of this year's Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania. The NYPD did not respond to a request for comment. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office declined to comment. Efforts to reach Jabari by email and social media were not successful. A career on hold. The cost of his arrest has been high. Majors quickly lost a U.S. Army ad campaign. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Deadline reported that he was dropped by his talent manager and his PR firm in April. I'm seeing a big lawsuit coming because you actually caused this is I'm not going to say defamation in a sense, but this witch hunt has led me to lose out financially. There's going to be a sue in here. He should be suing. Last week, Disney Plus indefinitely delayed a planned assembled docuseries episode on making of Quantumania. The director reported the release dates of 2 upcoming Avengers movies were also delayed a year, according to Hollywood Reporter. He's heartbroken, Chowdhury told the Inside of Mayors. He's watching his career dangle in the wind, just like it is in the 1950s. Same way. He wants to go to trial yesterday. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, his photos giving civil rights activists can't play with you. But yeah, let's go. Here is a look at the defense evidence as detailed in April 8 letter and series of interviews with Chowdhury, who shared key photographs and surveillance video with the Insider. The evidence starts with the driver, the first of at least 4 eyewitnesses to the fight at the center of the case. The driver is prepared to testify. Chowdhury told Insider that the man who drove Majors and Jabari to and from a Brooklyn bar that night was not directly employed by Majors and worked instead for the Black Lane, an upscale private black car company. She wrote in April 8 letter that the man whose name she asked not to be published was prepared to testify that Majors never raised his voice or a hand against Jabari as they argued inside his car or after he pulled a car over and the dispute spilled out onto a busy street corner. The driver of the car saw and heard everything the letter said. Street surveillance video reviewed by Insider appears to substantiate at least some of the driver's account and shows Majors repeatedly trying to flee from Jabari as she pulls at his coat. Why do you think she was pulling at his coat? Why do you think she was fighting him? Well, it doesn't really matter, really, does it? What it shows us is that he wasn't the aggressor. What it shows us is that he was not the aggressor. And unfortunately, this Caroline Bryant in the modern day era almost got our boy killed. Like, do you know what I mean? And yes, they're not lynching us anymore, but they are stopping our bag. They are stopping us from growing. They are stopping us from taking over the world. They are stopping us from dominating. They're stopping us from, achieving higher heights. Jonathan Majors was on the top of the MCU, the top of the world when it came to acting. He was someone who was taking it by storm. It's madness to see how the mighty have made him fall to this point. But you know what? The evidence is looking like it's in his favor. And he knows, and he's, a big guy. She's pulling him so hard that she pulls his body into the car, the lawyer said, and you see the coat rip. And he does finally get out, Chowdhury told Insider. A small group of women who witnessed the fight recognized the star. Only in New York, right? One of the women jumps on him, hugs him, and asks for a selfie, Chowdhury said. And he's so nice, they take a selfie. So my man, in the middle of getting his ass whooped by this Caroline, is in the moment of doing this, like it's a Boondocks episode, takes a selfie with a fan. You just can't make this up. At one point in the footage reviewed by the Insider, Jabari used both hands to briskly fiddle with her hair. She ties her hair into a knot. If your finger was broken and you went to tie your hair in a knot, it would hurt, the lawyer said. She gathered her hair behind her ear. If your ear was cut and your finger was broken and you went to do that, you'd be like, ow, like, oh, what happened? She added. But she's totally fine. A bartender who met Jabari is prepared to testify too. Chowdhury told Insider that Majors and an uninjured Jabari parted ways after the fight to embark on 2 separate and very different evenings. Majors spent the rest of the night at an Upper East Side hotel. The lawyer said phone records show that he sent Jabari a breakup text before turning off his phone. So the motherfucker said, listen, I ain't doing this no more. Okay, your ass is crazy and you do the maddest things in the maddest times. So do you know what? I'm going to lock off this thing and me and you were done. I don't want to hear nothing from you. I'm going about my business. You understand? I'm going about my business. I don't hear nothing from you, right? And look where we are. Okay, the moment he wanted to break up with her, this is what happens. Right. And I'm not even trying to blame her all the way because it was police officers who actually tried to coach her and try to make sure that she turned against him, but she can never be his girlfriend again. He better never go there again. Hope you've learned your lesson with these snow bunnies. The snow will always fall on you. Okay? It will always be a cold day. Jabari, meanwhile, befriended three of the passers-by who witnessed the fight, the lawyer said. The one woman and the two men headed to Lucy's, a nearby nightclub. Chowdhury said in a letter, prosecutors have the contact information for at least one of these witnesses, but have not shared it with the defense, Chowdhury told Insider. I wonder why. It's giving power all over again. It's giving mistrial. It's giving withholding evidence. It's giving sacks. It's giving, the DA trying to F a black man over. It's giving all the things that it's giving, it needs to give to let us know that this is a conspiracy of the highest order. That's what it's giving. Okay? The lawyer alleged in an April 8 letter from that video from Lucy's show Jabari dancing and drinking with her new acquaintances and charging their drinks, including rounds of shots and an 800 bottle of champagne to Major's credit card. Hold on a minute. So she was out here still spending on his money. Are you freaking nuts? I break up with you and you still spending my money. We got fraud going on. Because I broke up with you, you shouldn't even be using my card. Once you use my card, it's fraud. It's fraud. I should be even charging you. Are you nuts? And yet I'm going to jail for this nonsense. Can you imagine? It's the coonery for me. Inside has reviewed timestamp video from inside Lucy's nightclub obtained by Chowdhury. Throughout 2 hours of footage from multiple cameras, Jabari shows no sign of having an injury to her right hand. Yeah, because she wasn't injured, right? Instead, she can be seen using her right hand to shuffle through her wallet for the credit card, handle her cell phone, hold a menu, collect champagne glasses with her friends, write and hand a note to the DJ, give what appears to be a fist pump into the air on the dance floor, and finally sign a check. And this is a bit of the video. I used to break a middle finger, I don't even know what I'm looking at, nigga. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what I'm looking at. Anyway, at one point in the video, Jabari used her right hand to push her hair behind her right ear, which shows no sign of laceration. Police would see much later in that morning when they arrived at the penthouse. Chowdhury told insiders that the bartender remembered Jabari's British action and would testify that Jabari was having a great time and that he recalled no bleeding ear or bruised finger. Her finger is not broken and hair is not lacerated after the fight with Majors, defense lawyer added. Okay, and there's another video there, but I will play another time. Shortly after 3 a.m., club surveillance footage shows Jabari standing near the hostess stand. Chowdhury said that this was a moment she saw Major's breakup text on her phone, and that is when she decided to go AWOL. That is when she decided to use her Karen ability, her superpowers from the Marvel universes, when she collected the 5 stones and said, I'm going to show you the 6th stone. It's the Karen tears for me. I'm going to show you how to reset the universe with this one stone. I don't need the gauntlet from Thanos. I don't need the gauntlet from Iron Man. I don't need to even snap my fingers. I just need to turn on the waterworks and you're going to see the whole world reset for you, Jonathan Majors. The lawyer alleged that Jabari soon left the club and grabbed a taxi with Major's credit card. Surveillance footage shows her arriving at Major's address at 3:23 a.m. I mean, that's the booty call time. But anyway, she rode up to Major's XXX penthouse on the 17th, 18th, and 19th floor of a luxury Lower Manhattan apartment building. The elevator surveillance camera recorded a clear image of her right hand, to which there continues to be no apparent injury. Chowdhury said in the April 8 letter. Jabari's phone went silent at 7:45 a.m. She had called Majors 32 times since they had parted ways at midnight, and had sent him a series of angry, jealous text messages, accusing him of infidelity and begging him to call her, Chowdhury alleged in the letter. Hours later, Major, still in his Upper East Side hotel room, began scrolling through Jabari's barrage of calls and texts. What he saw chilled him to the bone. Chowdhury told Insider, and he came rushing home. A suicide threat. Chapter 5. Surveillance footage from Major's lobby shows him returning to the penthouse at 11:13 a.m., nearly 12 hours after the fight on Chinatown Street. Jabari had texted a suicide threat to Majors. When he did not respond to her text, Chowdhury said in the April 8 letter. The handyman is also prepared to testify. Majors led himself into his penthouse. Upstairs, a bedroom door was locked from the inside. He called a resident handyman to force open the door, the lawyer wrote in the letter. Inside, Majors and the handyman found Jabari half naked and passed out on the floor of a walk-in closet, Charlie said in a letter. Charlie wrote that the evidence would show that her right ear was bloody and the knuckles of her right middle finger were swollen and bright purple with vomit on the bed and a bottle of sleeping pills nearby. I have a witness who was on the phone with Mr. Majors when he found her unconscious body, gasped, and called 911, Charlie told Insider. The handyman is another witness, the lawyer said. Both witnesses verified that Mr. Jabari was locked in a bathroom, that Mr. Majors was not with Mrs. Jabari whatsoever before he found her and called 911 seconds later. The defense lawyer told Insider. I don't know 19 times. Chapter 6. NYPD born-worn camera video turned over to Charlie by prosecutors shows a disorientated Seaman Jabari telling cops and paramedics that she had drank to the point of throwing up in the bed and taken several sleeping tablets, the defense lawyer said in the letter. Jabari had no idea why her finger was bruised and her ear was bloody, Charlie said in the letter. Instead, telling first responders, I don't know, 19 times. It's almost as inspirational as Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream. She also asks, what happened to my finger? To one of the cops when she was alone with him, Charlie told Insiders, saying that the police body camera footage showed Jabari looking down at her hand as if discovering the injury for the very first time. Charlie said in a letter that Jabari also told the officers that she started a fight in the car because she saw a text from another girl, wanted to see his phone and tried to grab his phone. Was that Megan Good? Megan, was that you, girl? Were you leaving the pastor to enter into the slip of the night to enter to our brother Jonathan Majors? Megan Good, were you being bad and texting our brother before it's time? Maybe, maybe not. But then the cops keep asking her if he hit her, punched her, Charlie told Insiders. At one point in the body camera footage, the cop who ended up swearing out of the original assault complaint can be seen on the video touching his own throat several times while questioning what Majors did, as if coaching her, Charlie alleges in the letter. But the police videos do not show any visible injury to Jabari's neck, the lawyer said. A subsequent amended complaint would remove the first complaint's allegations that Major had put his hand on her neck, causing bruising and substantial pain. So they were trying to frame him by saying he put his hands around her, he put his hands on the neck, he put his hands on her. They were trying to frame him, but they realized through the video evidence of looking at her neck, there was no damage to her neck. So why were you trying to say that he put her hands on the neck? You were out here moving mad, Agent Smith. Okay? Out here moving mad. She told Insider that Major's medical expert was ready to testify that Jabari's cut ear and swollen finger were consistent with her having fallen while alone in the penthouse. Major's attorney said his arrest could make black men afraid to call 911. Chapter 7. NYPD body camera footage captured Majors telling the cops who had arrived at the penthouse that he had not struck or injured Jabari and that she instead had gouged his own chin and arm with her fingernails as they fought on the street that night before ripping his $1,000 coat, Charlie said. Sounds like an episode of Spider-Man. They did not investigate, pursue, or care even after he showed them the damage to his face, his arm, and coat, Charlie wrote in a letter to the judge. Why did officers instead believe Jabari, who at first could not even remember what had happened? I can give you a few reasons here as to why they believed that white woman before they believed Jonathan Major. In fact, they didn't even believe the white woman. They told the white woman what to believe. Charlie said the footage showed the officers walking around and looking out the window at the view from the 17th, 18th, and 19th floors while making impressed faces and mumbling to each other. Because the cameras are worn on the officer's chest, the video shows where they go and what they're looking at and how long they're looking at it. How idiotic can you be that you can wear cameras on you and forget you're wearing cameras and move idiotically when you're trying to set somebody else up? Not one of you thought to yourself, let me turn off my camera. Y'all ain't good at this, man. Y'all ain't good at this setup game. There's also some commentary by all the officers about how this a 3-level penthouse clearly showing amazement at the unique size of the place. Majors saved her life by calling 911 and they falsely charged him with a crime, Charlie told Insider. Charlie wrote in the court documents that officials had refused to prosecute Jabari on suspicion of assaulting Majors or in connection to the Rolex watches and diamond jewelry Jabari is accused of taking from the apartment. So she a thief as well. God damn it. She's a goddamn Catwoman, and still you want to arrest Majors for just being black. I didn't know that was a superpower, and I didn't know he was a vigilante for that. But she's out here being Catwoman and stealing jewelry like she's in the bloody Gotham film, and y'all don't want to arrest her, but you want to arrest our brother, Jonathan Majors. It's clear to see that these idiotic police officers don't know what they're doing. Chowdhury wrote in the court documents that officials had refused to... Oh, I've read that part. Sorry, apologies. Meanwhile, they refused to prosecute her for allegedly assaulting him or for Rolex watches, which and diamond jewelry she alleged in court documents that Jabari took from her apartment. It is heartbreaking that in 2023, a black man should still be afraid to dial 911, even to save a life, the lawyer said. The sad truth of the story is that if you're a black man, there is a white woman who needs medical help, you should think twice about calling 911 because chances are you'll be blamed arrested. And do you know what? Welcome to the freaking jungle, because that's the realest of the situation. Why don't you get involved in this business? It's not my business. Why should I get involved in white woman business? Because I get involved, I get arrested. I try to help, I get myself handcuffed. I try to help, I'm getting charged. Why should I help Mary Jane? My name ain't Peter Parker. Why should I help Betty? My name is not Bruce Banner. You get what I'm saying to you? You're catching my drift right now. Okay? Right? My name is not Miles Monroe. You're not Gwen. You understand what I'm saying to you? Yeah? So I'm not about to start doing that. Yeah? And everyone, despite proof of the black man's innocence, will assume he did it, she said. And no one, despite the proof of the white woman's crimes, will prosecute her. And I want to read that again because I think that's powerful. And no one, despite the proof of the white woman's crimes, will prosecute her. This story has been updated to add details from Major's June 2023 court appearance. Anyone affected by abuse, you know what I'm saying. All right. So the reality of the situation is, listen, Jonathan Majors has been done dirty, it seems like. By what the evidence is saying, he's been done dirty. And I hope you've enjoyed this dramatic reading and enjoyed what we spoke about just here. So listen, make sure you do me a massive favor. Like it, share, subscribe. Click on the bell button for notification of the uploads. And for those of you who are returning, you really know what it is, baby. You got the minerals. Much love, much appreciation. We'll see you again very soon for another video.